Number 23, BYU can go 3-0 against the Pac-12 if they knock off number 19, Arizona State. The Cougars 13-1 since the start of last season, behind only Bama for the best record in the FBS over that span. Then the Swamp. Number 11, Florida, hosting top-ranked Alabama for the first time since 2011. The Crimson Tide have won 7 straight games against the Gators, including 3 SEC titles. And then tomorrow night, on ABC. It's the whiteout game when number 22 Auburn plays number 10 Penn State. The Nittany Lions are, by the way, 6-6 in full whiteout games. They've won 3 of their last 4. College Game Day in Happy Valley. Reese, take it away.
Nittanyville is ready to show Auburn what's up with this whiteout. Now, it's typically reserved for Michigan or Ohio State, but Auburn makes just its second trip ever to a Big Ten environment. In fact, last time they did it, the SEC didn't exist. They went to Wisconsin in 1931. So this is a rare treat. And if Auburn is going to come in here, Kirk, and have success, Bo Nix, who historically has been not good on the road, is going to have a strong, solid game and protect the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's been talked about, right, all week, and Bo Nix knows about it. You've talked with him about it. He gets a little prickly, gets a little frustrated with it. He'll be quick to point out, we played some pretty good teams while I've been away from Jordan-Hare, and he's right. Teams like LSU in 19 when they won a national championship, Alabama last year. And, in his defense, it's not just the quarterback. It's easy when the quarterback plays well to give him all the credit, and it's easy to point the finger when the offense struggles. The reality is he needs to be more consistent with his decision-making, and he looks great 2 games in, at home against lesser opponents. This is the game that we find out where Bo Nix is, how much he's improved, and how this new offense with Brian Harsin and Mike Bobo, how good it really is. This is a good Penn State defense.
Also a great opportunity for Penn State to strike a blow for the Big Ten and the Big Ten East. Now, in the SEC, the headline game in the Swamp, Alabama and Florida, same clubs, same groups that played for the SEC championship, but not the same personnel or the same.
Man, I mean, last year, people forget about that game in Atlanta. I mean, Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, those great receivers, many of which are in the NFL. I mean, they hung right in there with Mac Jones and Alabama. And now, as Reese is saying, it's such a different contest as far as what Alabama's defense is getting ready to defend. It's almost like they can tear up their play call and sheets defensively from a year ago and go back to Mississippi State's offense with Dan Mullen when they used to have a quarterback that could run. Now, I'm not saying that Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson don't have the ability to stretch the field, but nothing like what they had last year with Trask and company.
Anthony Richardson can stretch the field by running from one end of it to the other.
Running, throwing. I think we'll see a little more 15 in this game, without a doubt.
Well, now, Dan Mullen doesn't run down to Shands Hospital and tell him how to do procedures. He's not going to listen to quarterback advice. Game day from Old Main at Penn State's going to be awesome Saturday morning.
Cannot wait, RD. Thank you. Let's take a look at some notable spreads from Caesars Sportsbook. Cincinnati, number 8 in the land, a 3.5-point favorite. Big road test against Indiana. Alabama, as we mentioned, at Florida, favored by 14.5. Penn State at home, favored by 5 against Auburn. And Herm squad, Arizona State, they're favored by 4 on the road at a very good BYU team. No?
It's fall, which means pumpkin spice and apple orchard pictures. And the good news is also October baseball's on the way. Let's take a look at how things are shaking out in the National League. Giants, Brewers, Braves all lead their divisions. And the race for the last wild card spot continues. The Cards actually currently hold the wild card spot, but the Padres and Reds are within a game of them. And a weekend that is shaping up to be a huge one for MLB playoff races. Padres-Cardinals open a huge 3-game series tonight in St. Louis. The Cardinals lead San Diego by just a half game for that second NL wildcard spot. How about your Phillies, Kevin?
Yeah.
Head to Citi Field. They take on the Mets as they hope to make up some ground in the NL East and wildcard standings. Zach Wheeler has a 2.15 ERA and 4 starts against the Mets this season. They'll be leaning on him. In San Francisco, you've got the Giants hosting the Braves while clinging to a 1-game lead over the Dodgers in the NL West. San Francisco has lost 2 straight. That's right after winning 8 straight. Atlanta leads the NL East by 3 games. And as for those Dodgers, they've won 6 straight as they head to Cincinnati. LA will lock up the first wild card if it doesn't win the West. Meanwhile, the Reds have struggled this month. They've lost 9 of their 14. games. So taking a look at some of the notables for Dodgers and Reds, Walker Buehler will take to the hill tonight. He's posted a sub-3 ERA over his last 4 starts against the Reds. As a Dodger, Max Scherzer's posted the lowest ERA in a pitcher's first 8 starts with the team since the earned run became official in 1913. And just making you feel even bad about your rotation, Clayton Kershaw has a sub-1 ERA in his last 3 starts against the Reds. All right, so who's going to get that second NL wildcard spot? PTI discuss.
All right, Frank, who do you think will wind up ending that National League number 2 wildcard spot? Reds, Padres, Cardinals, or Phils?
You know what? I think this weekend's going to go a long way to decide it with the Padres playing St. Louis. I think the Padres have to take 2 of 3 because their schedule is brutal. But you know this about the Cardinals because they're right in your backyard.
Yeah, buddy.
You're talking about one of the top organizations in sports. Nolan Arenado, his bat is alive. And think about Adam Wainwright, the only starting pitcher with at least 10 wins. He's got 16. They've won 10 of his last 11 starts. Somehow, some way, with Molina behind the plate, they win.
Yeah, look, the Cardinals are the boogeyman. And yes, as a lifelong Cub fan, I get this. I'm scared of them. The Cubs aren't in it, so I'm laughing. The Cubs can help determine it, though. The Cubs can keep the Cardinals out because the Cubs and the Cardinals play 7 times in that Cardinals stretch. The Cardinals also get the Brewers and they get the Padres. So the Cardinals' schedule is tough as well. Frank, you mentioned the Padres. Let's go through it a little bit by detail. 6 against the Giants, 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Cardinals, and 4 against the Braves. That's just a hellacious schedule that I don't think is going to allow the Padres to get that number 2 wildcard spot. The Reds, meanwhile, have 10 games against the Pirates and the Nationals. That's a leg up. And the Phillies have 10 with the Pirates, the Marlins, and the O's. And I just think that, when you got an easy schedule like that, the Cubs can be easy, but the Cubs have won a 7 straight game winning streak recently, and I think they had an 8 of 9 in there. So they haven't rolled over the plate dead. It would make me so happy if the Cubs could rise up, win 4 of those games, maybe 5, and knock the Cardinals out. That would be so great.
One thing about the Padres, too.
What?
You're playing the Giants and the Dodgers.
They're playing.
Those teams,
incentive.
Exactly.
Yes.
They want to win the division to stay out of the wild card. Those will not be easy games. They're going to be pitching.
That's it. We're done. Back to you.
Guys, thank you. It's the must-see quarterback showdown in Week 2. We'll assess Lamar's keys to overcome his kryptonite. That is Mahomes on Sunday night.